there is talks. I got to be very careful here of some switches, continuous switches on the defensive side of the ball. There has already been a couple of departures. If you want to just go into this, Mark, we can. If you want to go into that, and Coach Ephraim Banda, someone who everyone swears is this elite recruiter, and he is not. He has been getting credit for other people recruiting, just because he happens to be the position coach. So it's a lot of that going on. That's why I said we got to figure this thing out as a program. You know, we got Coach Mike Rumph, who happens to coach the corners, but is told to coach the corners the way that Manny Diaz wants his corners to be coached, but can't recruit the corners that he wants to be a part of the team. Okay, you got that. We've talked about that for a year. You have Coach Ephraim Banda claiming recruits that he didn't even recruit. What's going on here? We got a lot to work on, okay? We got a lot to work on. But Coach Ephraim Banda is out of here to Utah State as a defensive, also, Jose Borregales did declare for the NFL draft. Thank you, Rob Robinson. Thank you so much. He's going to Utah State. Presumably, he's going to be taking DVD DeMarcus Van Dyke, former player from the University of Miami, former NFL draft pick from the University of Miami at the cornerback position, with him to coach corners at Utah State. But there has been conversations of if Miami offers him the cornerback position, he will stay. In all respect to you, DeMarcus Van Dyke, I hope we have learned from this situation. This is not job on the training you. Okay. Let's please go out and get an established cornerbacks coach from a successful program and or a really solid to really good conference. Okay. We don't want to be standing here 3 months from now having the same conversation. Let's not do that. Other departures, nothing on the offensive side of the ball. Coach, our defensive line coach, Todd Stroud, is going to be stepping away from an on-field position due to health issues. He's also battled cancer and COVID-19 and things of that nature. So I think he's stepping away to make sure that he can, live his life. So I'm really happy to see him still be around. And in all likelihood, he's still going to be around the program. I just think he won't be a position coach. I know he won't be a position coach anymore. So Miami has an opening at defensive line. Miami has an opening at striker, maybe. And Miami has an opening. 2 definite positions is defensive line and cornerback as of right now. Could be defensive coordinator, could be linebacker. Everybody could go at this point. I'm just hoping we go get well-established coaches.
The transfer portal. So I just looked it up. For Miami, there's only the one big pickup from Tennessee, which is pretty substantial. This kid can play. You don't think it is?
Oh, yeah. I just don't want us to think that he's Jalen Phillips. No, he's a pretty solid, strong side defensive end. But continue.
Yeah. And then they have 2 losses with Christian Williams, and there was somebody else in there. But I have been sifting through this transfer portal because I got to keep on top of it, produce videos, that sort of thing. I'm looking team by team by team over the last few days, and I'm seeing 8, 10, 12 players on most teams. So the Miami, it's not been that active yet. So it's a good sign people not leaving, wanting to leave.
Yeah. I don't know if I would want to see players transfer. I think there are some players who they've outwear their welcome. Okay, you're just not going to contribute to us moving forward. So I think some of them will and they're older players, so they could declare instead of going to another institution. But sometimes, Mark, you get to a point where we're starting to recruit a little better, and this young man won't get a chance to play for us. So.
Corey Raymond has gained a reputation as one of the best defensive back coaches in college football. He's been around the game for a long, long time, was a fine player himself for 9 or 10 years in the NFL and at LSU. So his name comes up in regards to trying to reel him in as a. I don't think he would make the transition as a DB coach. I think he would have to be the D coordinator.
Mark, you have your own channel, correct?
I do.
Yes. Multiple channels, right?
Yes.
Would you ever come over and run my channel? Just cause?
I love you, Wholesome One, but I'd have to turn down that opportunity.
Because in all likelihood, it's a demotion. Okay. Why would he go from coaching at LSU, where he's allowed to do a whole lot of stuff because of that SEC patch on his chest, at one of the most well-established football programs ever, especially at that position of defensive back, to come to Miami and coach the exact same position? I don't even think he would take our DC job. I truly don't. I truly don't. Because here's the thing. People are missing it when it comes to our program. These coaches all know what Miami could be, but a lot of them understand the inner workings of, even if I go down there and infuse what I know there, I don't know if their administration is going to want us to be as best as we can. I don't know if there's going to be the investment here as it is at a Florida, at an LSU, and definitely not at an Alabama or Georgia, where they're investing tens of millions, hundreds of millions at every corner. You know, it just doesn't work like that. So it was a fantasy booking for me too. I think he would be enticed by it, but who's to say that he would even be respectful of the price that we would try to give him to come here and work here? You know, like, oh, I'd be the DC for $4 million. He could make that to just coach corners in the SEC. So I don't think that would work out. Would I love it? I would like it. I think he'd be a really amazing recruiter, but has he ever coordinated defense before? Is he willing to come in and run the 4-2-5 like Coach Manny Diaz would force him to? Is he willing to deal with a lot of the shenanigans that University of Miami coaches have to go through? Because they don't just get to coach football and just enjoy being a good football program. It's not like that down there. So I don't know if that would work out. If we wake up tomorrow and this happens, I'll be pretty happy. But there'll be a lot of questions. What scheme is he going to run? What other assistants would come with a position coach to the University of Miami where he can help build a defensive side of the ball? I would want an established defensive coordinator. If you go get me somebody that's maybe like a B+ hire, who's been a defensive coordinator, who has a name, who can fill a roster, a staff, I wouldn't mind that. So we'll see.